Hello, welcome to Talking About Life with Lily podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to season two. I am going to be giving commentary on the Nigerian elections because I'm a Nigerian and I'm just going to be giving my 2 cents, and hopefully this will like open our eyes to so many grassroots issues happening in our country that is beyond just ordinary irrelevant thing that we shouldn't focus on. I think we should really focus on this. And so I'm going to be coming from this angle. Now, in the recent elections has been ongoing, and through the social media platforms, I came across a lot of things from thuggery to havoc to distortion to so many other things. And I have been really thinking about why. why people would get paid to distort the election process, why people get paid to to not upload the election results, why people choose to get paid and choose to accept bribe to just make sure the truth doesn't come out with regards to the election results. And what came to mind that has been really outstanding with this entire process, what really came to mind is the fact that a lot of people are really suffering financially. And this is just but one of my points, and I'll explain that. Imagine a young man, probably in his 20s, probably 26, 27, whatever. And so he was called upon. Hey, I understand that you're getting paid 10,000 from your little job. I am going to give you an extra, probably 40K, or probably less than that. Who knows? I'm just giving an example, an overview. And then the man at the top tells him, I'm going to pay you an extra amount of money, extra amount of naira. And all I'm asking you to do is just to distort the election process. Don't make it peaceful, don't make it go smoothly. Just distort the election process. Just go in and ravok the whole place. I will give you cash. And then in his mind, he'll probably think about how many times he has suffered financially, wanting a certain amount of money, wanting to do this with the amount of money, wanting to do that, wishing and hoping that someday he will just get the amount of money he wants. And now he has his wish come through, but in a very wrong means, or in a very wrong situation rather. And he's given the choice to either accept it or reject it. He weighs it in his mind. If I refuse this, the tendency that I'll get this amount of money again is going to be like minus zero. Even if I do get it, it will take a long time for me to get it. And so, and I know, I'm going against my conscience. Nigerian's future is at hand, and I need to stand on the good side of things, but I really need this money. Like, I really need this money. And I think I'm just going to take it. Whatever comes my way, but I'm just going to take it. And so he does. And then he takes the amount of money, goes into the polling units, or where the election is being conducted, where they are recording people's votes, where people like him have come out to really exercise their civil and human rights, hoping for a brighter future. And then he comes in there, he drags the ballot box, causes havoc, brings out the gun, or just do something that would distract and destroy and just make sure the entire process is wah. So, what I mean by why is the entire process is ruined, basically. So, he effectively does that and he goes home with his cash. Now, I'm painting this picture for a certain reason because I came across someone's Twitter post of Now the post states this. I'm just giving a summary of what the post states, that the reason why Nigerians are progressing is not necessarily the government officials, it's the people. Do I agree with that statement? I do. But I just painted a picture right now of a man that outweighed his options. Collect this bribe and distort the elections, or refuse the bribe and continue to suffer. Or rather, continue to go in the normal cycle of your life, trying to get cash here and there. It's so important that we talk about how much financial incapability drives people, or financial thirst or financial need drives people to do the unimaginable. And it's something we should really think about. If you have if you are an office person, probably you're earning 30,000 a month, and you believe in a better Nigeria because of the present election, and you want to exercise your human right and civil rights, and then someone comes to you, you have it, you're living in a self-con, you are sort of stabilized in a sense. I repeat, in a sense, because a lot of people might disagree and say self-con is not stabilized, so I'm just saying what people will probably say, people that don't find that to be a reasonable stabilized setting. And so someone comes to you and says, okay, I'm going to pay you extra 20,000 naira. All you need to do is just to distort the election process. You are going to rethink, and the tendency that you refuse that bribe is really high compared to somebody that is probably bricklaying and getting about probably 1 5 a day, and now someone wants to give him 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira cash just to distort the election right here and now. He doesn't have to bricklay or lift any bricklayer work. He can collect it now and just get the job done and go home with his 10,000 naira. So you, as an office person, the tendency that you will not accept the bribe is really really high compared to someone that is bricklaying and would accept it. So beyond the fact that Nigerians are the problem of this country, we should really talk about the reason why Nigerians are the problem of this country. The rate at which a lot of people are financially handicapped, like financially handicapped, and they would do anything. They would do absolutely anything to have that finance in their hand right here and now. They don't care if even if it's at the expense of Nigerians' economy, because they have probably experienced a lot of traumatic distortion in the economy, and so the tendency that they really believe in a better Nigeria is like really low. Even if they do believe in it, they're like, let me collect this cash now. I don't have time. I can believe in that. Fine, all right. But like, I need this cash now, so I'm going to collect it and distort the elections. And that's not to say that I'm accepting the attitude or the behaviors. I'm trying to point out the fact that we should start focusing. We should really start focusing on why financial incapability has handicapped people mentally, like literally, where they make poor choices, poor decisions in effort to make sure that their chase for that financial increase or financial wealth, or cash here and there, I mean here and now, is achieved. We keep on pointing fingers. Oh, Nigerians are the problem of this country. I agree with that statement. But it's like, in the midst of agreeing with that statement, what are we actually doing? Like, what are we really doing in having a conversation on why Nigerians are the problem of this country. Like we can have conversations and just point it, oh, people are financial incapable. We just point it out and then we just move on to the next thing. No. There are things that need to be highlighted, like they have to be talked about, like they have to be hammered on. People need to be aware so that policies can change, so that things can be moved around, so that we can erupt something that will be able to change people's distorted mindset because of their financial incapability. That would change it and rephrase it back to the right way of thinking and hoping and believing and wanting to partake in a better Nigeria. There's another there's another video I came across. It was about a woman, still on these elections. It's about a woman that she was caught red-handed manipulating the election results. And they were asking her on the video, Madam, why did you manipulate the results? Were you paid for this? And she was almost in shame. Like you could tell from her facial expression because a lot of people were videoing her. Elderly lady. And when I watched that video, am I supporting her attitude? Absolutely not. Don't get me wrong. But when I watched that video, I'm just thinking how many people are preyed on. Like they're like vulnerable people. They are preyed on. Like PREYED. Like they are preyed on just to get their selfish agenda actualized. So they will rather look for not the intelligent mind. If you notice, the thugs and the people that are, you know, making sure the election is distorted are not people. I'm not saying they are not intelligent. They're not people that are intelligent in a sense that when you come up to them and then even if you offer them 1 million, they are going to be like, no, I'm not going to partake in that. So they know that the intelligent folks, that's the real intelligent minds, even in their horrific financial situation, would not agree to those bribes. So they will look for the vulnerable population, people that are probably drunkards, people that are old, aged, people that they are paying peanuts. Look for them and grab them, not literally, but grab their attention by giving them a certain amount of money and promise them that, yo, I'm going to give you this amount of money. All you need to do is don't upload the election results. All you need to do is just, you know, manipulate the results. I'll give you cash. And you're like, yes. I mean, it makes sense to me because I need money. Vulnerable minds. Vulnerable minds. People might probably see, even a lot of us are suffering financially now, and if you were to come to us, we will not agree. You can't compare yourself to someone that is frying a car on the side. I'm not saying that situation, but just follow me up. You can't compare yourself with someone that is frying a car on the side and then going to a particular job that you're paying 10,000 a month and struggling to get by. And someone that doesn't really because people are in this particular situation that will actually refuse to collect bribes. So I'm very careful with my words. You understand what I'm saying? So you cannot compare yourself to someone that is illiterate in that situation. Not necessarily that they did not go to school, but because there's a difference between illiteracy in the sense that you did not go to school versus you went to school, but you're not still evolved in your thinking. So there's a difference between you that is evolved in your thinking, because I don't want to use that Akara sin. I think that Akara sin is too far fetched because a lot of people will be trying Akara and will probably refuse the bribe. There's different. So what I'm trying to say is there's a difference between someone that is not evolved in their thinking, that they're just driven by this financial thirst, so they will do anything to grab it, versus you that you are struggling also, but you are beyond your financial thirst. You are driven by the hope of a better Nigeria. The hope and the dream is so much higher than your financial thirst. There's a difference between you two. You understand what I'm saying? There's a clear difference between you two. And so I just think, because most of those thugs, if you really want to do a background history of them, some of them are paid peanuts. Some of them are just bricklaying or something. So they target vulnerable minds, vulnerable population to achieve their agenda, to pay them so they can distort the elections and do all they can to manipulate the election results. So I think we should start talking about this particular issue: financial incapability, vulnerable minds, and where it has led us. The rate at which vulnerable minds have populated this country from let me just stop there because I don't want to go far fetched with what I'm thinking right now. But it is so important that the rate at which people are struggling in this country need to be highlighted, because I think most times struggles can be a huge factor to why people are vulnerable mentally. So I think conversations need to be had, change needs to happen. We need to start talking about the struggles that people are going through in this country. It needs to be highlighted, it needs to be broadcasted, it needs to be a constant news, constant focused attention. Because if we are having news on a daily, reporting people that are suffering every single day on our news platforms, on the social media and so many other things, change will happen even if it's on a small scale. And so the rate of vulnerable minds will decrease drastically, if not drastically, slowly, but it will get somewhere. So beyond talking about the fact that Nigerians are the reasons why Nigeria is not progressing, we need to talk about the rate at which a lot of people have vulnerable minds. A lot of people are illiterate, not in the sense of not going to school, but illiterate as a result of their situation. Their situation has so overwhelmed them that they cannot possibly see anything meaningful. So we need to start having conversations over the financial incapability, the vulnerable mind, the rate at which people are suffering. All these things need to be highlighted. Because if these things are highlighted, probably will not have much talks. Probably the rate at which people are susceptible to accept bribes will decrease drastically, because there will be change moving even on a small scale. Change will be happening, things will be shifting. So that's it. That's the end of the video. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, just try and go back, because my mind was everywhere, but just try and go back and watch again to be able to tally with the storyline and what I'm trying to portray. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one.